everyone, this is Rashid Ghosh from Team Economic Times, and we have with us Mr. Rajesh Uppal. He's from Maruti Suzuki, and today we are engaging over with him for a very candid conversation on what's happening around. So, welcome to the conversation, Mr. Uppal. It's wonderful to have you. Yeah. All right. So, we all talk a lot about sustainability nowadays. Every industry is working about sustainability. If you talk about Maruti Suzuki, since you are the CIO, how are you incorporating the environmental, sustainability considerations in your organization? Not necessarily in your organization, around you. What, as a leader, what are you doing to ensure that sustainability remains in the system?
ESG today is the top of the agenda in the company, especially in the board. So the whole boards are very concerned about how are we progressing on sustainability as an organization. So first thing first is that we need to create a right kind of measurement matrices on sustainability where we are, so that we are right baseline, so that we can keep working on year by year improvement on that. So that's the first thing we as a company of our size has done that and all. And also we're creating a one organization focused only on sustainability so that they can really take this ownership of these results to be done. And in sustainability, you don't have to only work with your own company, you have to look at all ecosystem, including our suppliers, including our dealers, including our customers using our vehicles and so on and so forth. This is a very large framework for the company and we are working on each area of this to work on. And also we have started creating a sustainability report for the company every year so that we report our sustainability goals and the outcomes with all the stakeholders regularly.
Right. That's wonderful to know that, keeping a regular check on sustainability across the organization, because that it's very, important as a leader to incorporate. Everybody is doing it. All right. So, moving over to the next question, in the automotive sector, being the CIO of one of the leading organizations of the across the globe, how do you meet the demands of industry 4.0, and what do you think are the major digital strategies at present that are crucial to take?
I think around 5 years back, we created a separate organization only for innovation. And we created that all the solution, normally transaction is very focused for all IT group to work on. But how can you work on effectively changing the way IT is supporting the business for their business growth? That's where we created digital enterprise. And one of the COE we created was on IoT or maybe smart factory as the bigger umbrella I can talk about. So in that, we created various products now to look at various aspects of smart factories, whether is the productivity, looking at the quality, looking at the just-in-time delivery to our customers, safety for our employees, and also employee experience of all the workmen to work in the shop floor in a very seamless manner. So looking at all those agendas together, we created a strategy which is under implementation right now. We got huge saving with respect to our energy consumption. We got huge saving with respect to our quality improvements in the area around using technologies. And I think this is a big journey, including the big traceability of customer to the each raw material from each condition. So tracing the whole supply chain is one big area which IoT is performing for us. I think there are huge number of initiatives which is going on, and this is going to improve our position with respect to safety, with respect to productivity, and also the quality in a long-term manner. It's very important initiative for us.
So, sir, human resource is a very important part of your profile, not just your, but across industry. Every leader thinks that human resource is something very significant for their growth. So, if we look about HR and digital enterprise, how is automotive industry is transforming their ways so that this can attract better skill, better retain top talent, and also enhance the participation of young generation in every organization.
I think is a very important point you touched is how you can create a right environment in the company so that you get a right talent to work with them. It has to do with both, the whole policies, procedures, and also the HR framework in the company. and that's where we are trying to change our company from a level-based organization to a role-based organization, so that we have a right people doing right job and with right skills, with right kind of remuneration, is one area of work to do. And second important area is employee experience. We all have been talking about customer experience and digital customer experience journeys and all. We also embark a journey on employee digital experience, so that he doesn't use time in the searching for what is his needs. There's a listening platform to listen to him. There's a time bound delivery to him for any services we want, and so on and so forth. So we are focusing a big journey on employee experience, which I guess will be going to be a big area of our work going forward, so that we can attract right employee, retain him, and give him a good experience to work in our organization.
So, with human resource now, let's go towards agility and security. We all know that security is not just an external factor; it's an internal factor also. So, if I talk about your long-term goals regarding maintaining agility and security, what comes to your mind if I talk about that? How do you secure that?
Okay. Agility and security are two different umbrella of work. Agility is how to really, not get caught by the bureaucracy of a large organization, and you just work on the projects with as a startup is working, and which is not known in the large corporate, because they are always follow the processes and stuff like that. So agility is one we are creating that can a large organization like us work like a startup, and that's where our programs like innovation, where we work with startups, get them on board, and normally cycle time is in 3 months. Companies onboarded and they start delivering to you. Is the speed at which we are working with startups to work on is one area of it. Security, I guess, is very hygiene for any company of our size and all. So we need to make sure that the processes around security are very clearly working, and also very clearly uh, followed in whole life cycle of securities, whether it is identification of any threats, or a possibility threats around, to very important today is resilience, that if something happens, how can you come back to the normal. So working on a full lifespan of security is a big area of work, and that's something which is I guess now is hygiene for a company of larger size. You need to make sure that you invest into that appropriately.
So, in this long span of your leadership career, if I have to ask you, request you to share, what kind of leadership lessons that, you learned, and if you have to convey something to the youth of the industry to join.
So first and foremost is one important lesson I have in life is you have to be continuous learner. You can't stay with what you have learned, in your colleges or yesterday. Unless you learn something new, you cannot be a leader in the organization. So your learning ability has to be very, very strong. Secondly, I think it's important is how do you build a right team in the organization. So how do you really focus on development of the people below you, so that the things done by guiding them and all, mentoring them and all, and they take on responsibility and run, is the second big area of the work or leadership to be there and to work on. And third is important is how do you make sure that you have a very engaging, or rather customer is always in your mindset when you are supporting doing any decision. Now you working on every day you have to take large number of decisions around and all. But in your decision making, how do you keep customer in the center and work around that? The solution is important. So not for you to look at that. How does your decision going to benefit customer? It could be internal customer or a end customer whom you're selling. So that your decision making process take care of that is a very important trait any leadership should have and all. So that's I guess is the top of the mind three
Three
areas.
things, right? So, we have just started the new year, and we are in the third month of the year. What comes on the priority list of yours when you have just started the year, and as a leader, what comes on the priority list? Top three things that you would like to suggest.
Continuously innovation is the topmost agenda in my working. Second, how do you create long-term vision for the company while the existing business is done and all? So how to create a dual kind of organizations focusing on running the big business and also a future. I think the second big agenda for me to look at that from a people's perspective, from a technology perspective, and also business plan perspective is the second important agenda for me. Third important will always be in a company like us is how do you manage your costs. So how do you make sure that you spend appropriately, maybe for doing the same routine work, how do you reduce costs so that you can spend that money into innovation is the third big area. I think that's the top of mind.
So thank you so much for your time, sir. I think we engaged and we touched upon the things that are making a leader, a people's man. I would definitely like to call you a people's man. You're loved across the industry. Everybody talks about you when it comes to innovation, when it comes to connecting people. Thank you so much for engaging with us at the Economic Times. And this is Rashi signing off, and we will definitely connect in our next endeavor with you. Thank you for your time, sir. Thanks a lot. Namaskar. Thank you.